My name is Joey Shapiro. I'm a fourth-generation Chicagoan, Jewish by faith, and happily married. Work for Interfaith Youth Corps on an international project that does multi-faith action around malaria eradication. If you look at the 8 Millennium Development Goals, you can really sit down and say malaria either is directly involved in or can have a positive effect on 6 of the 8. Interfaith Youth Corps is a reasonably young nonprofit in Chicago, started here by a local guy named Ibu Patel. It's really about bringing young people to the table to work together, do service projects, in the process sort of share values. If ever there's a way to affect positive change across the world and do it with any amount of interfaith cooperation, it's going to have to be some common idea of justice and helping people. You know, I grew up in a traditional Jewish household. I attended synagogue growing up. At particular points before I'd even gotten to high school, I'd taken further religious stringencies upon myself, become Shomer Shabbat right before my bar mitzvah by choice. I started keeping kashrut law, which is ritual dietary law, when I was 10. I ran track and cross country, and I basically couldn't compete because these things were all on Friday night, Saturday. I spent a year in Israel before I went off to college. It's really easy there, I think, to be, especially at that age, to be a practicing Jew, to be studying in a yeshiva, in a place of Jewish study. So I think I had been fed this particular way of looking at the world through a Jewish lens. I think at that point in my life, I sort of thought about my own religious identity as part of my identity, and that orthopraxy really played a part in it. I don't think it was till later when I got to university, I got to college, and I was really thinking about, I was having a very different experience of faith. I felt that continuing to be observant was keeping me from sort of growing, meeting people that were really going to challenge who I was and really expand and grow within myself. And that really my understanding of myself through my faith since then has really been very much pinned on my connection to my family, historically, culturally, but also sort of looking forward as I'm beginning a family. And so I let it go by the wayside. I started to sort of push outside of the way that I've been for a decade at that point. And I ended up getting really interested in the origins of Hebrew Bible and early rabbinic texts and even early Christianity. And then ended up at Harvard Divinity School to do more of that because it was just so fascinating. And it had become such an important part of me understanding myself as a Jew and in the context of a larger sort of historical and religious sweep. At the end of the day, it's not just about, you know, this ritual practice, this orthopraxy. It's not about some dead white guy with a big beard from 1200 CE telling me that I need to live my life in a particular way. It's really about this cultural heritage piece of it that really informs who I am and my connection to my family. And it's something that I can't ignore.